Welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday. I'm Allison Rogers, Instructional Technology Specialist at Clinton County RESA, and today's Tech Tip Tuesday is going to focus on how to utilize the shortcut feature within Google Drive. A shortcut in Google Drive references another file or folder that is located somewhere else in Google Drive. It's essentially a link that points back to an original file or folder. The benefit to creating and using shortcuts in Google Drive is so you can quickly access a file or folder from multiple places inside your Google Drive without having to duplicate them. So let me show you how to manually create a shortcut within Google Drive. So I start by going to Chrome and accessing my Google Drive. And let's say that there's a file that I want to live in a variety of different places throughout my drive for easy access. So what I would do is I would select my file, we'll use this sample agenda as an example, and I would right-click on the file and select the option Add Shortcut to Drive. Notice this little icon with the plus sign means a shortcut. Now it's asking me where do you want this shortcut to live, so I can go ahead and select whatever folder I want and place it directly in that folder or even subfolder. Say I want to put it in this subfolder here, and I select Add Shortcut. And so now if I go to that folder that I placed this shortcut in, which is this shortcut samples, I will now see this sample agenda, but with this shortcut icon. So it's a little arrow here. And if I open up this file, it will take me directly to the original file. Right? It's no different just because the shortcut takes me to the original. So if I were to go to that original file, sample agenda, this way, that's not a shortcut, you'll see it's the same file as the one that took me from the shortcut. And you can see that I'm in that file still. So that's how you add a shortcut manually in Google Drive. You can also use keyboard shortcuts to create a shortcut in Drive, and it's very simple. So again, you find your file that you want to create a shortcut, select it, and then use the shortcut Control-C, and you'll notice that it's now copied to your clipboard. And then again, you go to whatever folder or different location within your drive you want this shortcut to live. So I'm going to go back to my shortcut samples. And then I'm going to use the shortcut Control-Shift-V, and now the demo PDF document has its shortcut. Be very careful when you're using the keyboard shortcuts for when you're pasting it to use that Shift key, because if you just use Control-V, it's going to actually paste a copy of the document. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if I'm looking to, again, Control-C this document to make a shortcut, copied it, and then I go to the folder or destination I want it to live in. If I were to Control-Shift-V, it's going to create that shortcut just like I did. But if I were to just select Control-V, it's actually going to paste in a copy of the demo PDF, which is actually a completely different file. Right? So that's two different things. So for shortcut purposes, Control-Shift-V. If you're trying to make a copy of something, then that's just Control-V. And if you're worried about accidentally making a copy instead of a shortcut, you can always just use the right-click feature and add shortcut to Drive. That's probably your safest bet. So a few things to remember when using shortcuts. Shortcuts can be used in your Google Drive and in your shared drives. Shortcuts are visible to anyone who has access to the file or folder or drive. But remember, if you're trying to give new users access, you still want to go to that original file and share access that way. So you can delete shortcuts to files. So for example, if I go to my sample agenda shortcut and click delete, move to trash, the shortcut is now gone. But if I go to the file, like the original file, sample agenda, it's still there. I just deleted the shortcut, right? So the shortcut's owner, which was me, can delete the shortcut, but the target file can only be deleted by the file's owner. So even if I had shared a shortcut with people and shared this document with people, if they could delete a shortcut, but they can't go in and delete the file unless they're the owner. So you don't have to worry about that. And you also can't even delete a shortcut if it's inside a drive folder that someone else owns. So if you're wondering why you can't delete a shortcut, that's why. So hopefully you can utilize shortcuts to help you easily navigate and find files and folders throughout your drive. So that's it for today's Tech Tip Tuesday. If you have an idea, question, or suggestion for a Tech Tip Tuesday topic, email me and your idea may be featured in a future training or Tech Tip Tuesday blast.